18 rings, 6 coins to my name, but with 18 rings then I can change the game. Flip them over, turn them around. Oh shit, look, I turned them into a crown. Make it dance, make it work for you. Coin is for the spending, if you scatter it then you'll reap the profits of the seeds you've sown. What do you know, look, I turned it into a throne. We do what we do to keep the water flowing. The more you give, the more it keeps growing. I don't want your gifts, I don't want your charity. I just want to see some other love and prosperity. The wheel keeps turning, the wheel keeps turning, the wheel keeps turning round. If the water won't flow, then the crops don't grow, so the wheel keeps turning round. The wheel keeps turning, the wheel keeps turning, the wheel keeps turning round. If the water won't flow, then the crops don't grow, so the wheel keeps turning round. I make my living by the sweat of my brow, the strength of my voice and my lyrical know-how. I work hard, I spend freely. I'm not rich, but damn, am I dearly placed to think of virtue and preach it to the masses. The fruits of my labor I use to fill glasses. Life is for the living is the message I'm selling, the scent of success.
Right. Hello, everybody. How are we all doing today? This is a packed stream, as you can tell by everybody beneath me. There you go. We're all... What an all-star lineup. Where? Oh, duty. How are we all doing this evening? We are all now here at the end of the year. The long dark is here. It has hold of us. It's giving us a hug like an unwanted uncle. Too far? Probably not. Yeah, so I figured we'll sit down, we'll have a chat about the year that was. 2 new players who have been here for 1 year. A relatively new player who has been here for a few years. And me, unfortunately. Is a cast of rascals, definitely. So yeah, well, I thought we'd have a nice chat, see how the year went for everybody, and then see where we can go. And then Beth is the only person here who is actually represented properly. I didn't even imagine having a posture. I need to change these things because some of them are a bit boring now. But yeah, so I figured we'd go through the year, see how everything went for everyone, and there's Debbie Harry. I was going to be chucking you a message today to see how you were doing, because I haven't seen you for a while. I hope you're doing alright. I hope things are good. 4.4 points to spend, so you've got to do it, Beth. Yeah, there you go. Right, so all of the prompts are on Beth this evening. So that's fine. Work's been shit, but I'm good. Good. That's good to hear. Well, welcome back. So yeah. Any news? Do I have any news? I'm getting my suit fitted for mine and Helen's wedding tomorrow, which is going to be good. The wedding's not tomorrow. The wedding is in November. Yeah, the wedding is in November. So there will be, if you follow me on Instagram, I'm sure there will be pictures. No, there won't be any pictures because Helen's not allowed to see me in the suit. So there won't be any pictures on Instagram. But yeah, so 11.4k points. Pete on 82,000 points. How many? 52,000. I got 0. I am. I hate myself, obviously. 143,000. Get a life. So, yeah. So, if everybody... You might put... this is a case of, I suppose, for some people in chat, putting faces to names. So, if we start from this one here... No. Beth. And then we'll work our way along. You can't say... Oh, right, okay. Okay. Am I... Okay, yeah. So, the person there on Discord. So, Beth, do your introductions. And, oh, sorry. I've now turned their mics on.
Yeah, hi.
There you go.
Hi, I'm Beth. I LARP. I play in Wintermark.
Excellent.
Seal people, best people.
There we go. Okay, so hopefully you can all hear them now.
Cracking.
Yeah. Oh, quickly, Nexus. We need to have a chat about you coming to Empire. Don't avoid me. You haven't been avoiding me. I haven't messaged. I should have done. So it's my fault. But yeah, we need to have a chat about you coming to Empire. Because I want to kit you out and give you a ticket. There we go. Right. Next. Person below me.
That.
Yeah, that
Me?
would be you, yes.
Me? Okay. I'm Josh. My username on things tends to be Stringer. I was Earl Percival Berenor in Dawn, but I died, so I am no longer. Working out precisely what I want to do next. But thankfully I have quite a long time to figure that out. Thankfully not as long as people who died at the last E4 had. Hopefully.
Yeah.
Not to jinx another pandemic.
Oh, please don't. Please don't. So, yeah, stay on topic at least till you introduce the guests. No. You're not my real dad. I was going to have a backdrop of Bolam and Heidi for this, but I thought...
That's not safe for work?
It's not safe for work, but it was a very funny picture. I might put it up later. The creepiest music playing the street with that... Okay, at the time. Excellent, Nexus. Excellent. Right. Helen?
I mean, you're giving it away now.
Okay, fine. We'll move on then.
Excellent.
Now go on. Do your intro.
Hi everyone, I'm Helen. I play Yana in Hurst Hall in Wintermark. Same hall as Mac was and now Cal.
You had to go there.
I did.
You bitch. You horrible person. My web managers are quite a way away. Good.
It's not too late to back out, Helen.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Please.
Of the stream, the wedding.
He's not got the suits yet.
No, this is true.
Take the budget and run.
So yeah, longest of all darks, and then we've all come together. Then we've had E1, where everyone, I think, had a good time. I'd like to think everyone had a good time. Beth, how was your E1 compared to what you thought it was going to be like? If you can remember that far back.
E1 was really weird. Like, it's not like any of the other events. It was all these feelings, and also probably the physically the hardest one, but like emotionally the most rewarding one, if that makes sense.
Why was it physically hard? What happened?
Because I hadn't done any exercise in 2 years, and for no other reason whatsoever.
No other reason, huh?
No. Sprained my ankle. I couldn't find my meds. My thyroid's not great. And then when I got home, it turned out I'd also picked up COVID. So physically it was really, really challenging, but like emotionally it the first event is just this whole wave of like new experiences. So, yeah, that's good. It was very, very, very rewarding.
Hmm. How did you hurt your ankle?
Um, valiantly in battle.
Oh, did you actually get to the battle? Did you, or did you
No,
fall
no,
over
not.
just before
A battle, not the battle.
the battle with the ground?
By
Was
a
it
battle, I mean the new player skirmish.
right? Okay.
You are
The
a
new player
valiant
skirmish.
example to all of us.
And by the new player skirmish, I mean the very beginning of the new player skirmish.
Like 5 feet into the new player skirmish.
Yeah.
Excellent stuff. Wonderful stuff. So physically not great, emotionally very rewarding.
Yeah. I was like hobbling around everywhere. I'm surprised I made any friends.
Well, I mean, once they get to know you,
There's no getting out of it then.
yeah, it's pretty much what Helen said to me last night.
That is my tactic.
Yeah. Pat, fuck me, low blow, but great and very true. To be honest, that's longer than most of Mike's characters last.
Mike's. I think Mike's character was 2 hours last time.
2 hours.
Was
Yeah.
3? I don't know. He'll have to correct me.
Yeah, like a limpet. Yeah, bless him.
I love his confidence though. I love how he just goes into an event with a brand new character and he's like, "Yeah, I'll go to a night skirmish.
Yeah. Yeah.
Sure, that couldn't possibly go wrong."
Nothing bad ever happened on a night skirmish.
Never.
I love night skirmishes. Just never do night skirmishes now. Josh, how about you? How was your first event compared to what you...
So E1 was a little bit sort of different, I think, than most people's like first one being. I did a player event in September. Did Quiet Glade, which was the like big sort of the Valorn one that was supposedly going to be a nice sort of calm social event, and then there were 3 major Valorn skirmishes. But with that, I didn't have the money or anything to get myself like kitted out with combat stuff.
Right.
But I knew from my experience I'd done previously in LARPing, the combat stuff is something I really enjoy. And so at a player event, I kind of got away with borrowing a sword and shield and going out with no armor, other than people being like, "Yeah, that technically counts as light armor. Sure, we'll go with that." But then when it comes to doing a big battle, it wasn't something I had as much confidence to do. And I'd spec'd my character fully into combat, so I had no other things and I hadn't like read up properly on everything, so I had no idea what else to be doing, and had a pretty bad first event at E1.
Okay.
It was cold. I had not packed warm enough kit or anything like that. I had to go to Velvet Glove at like 10 p.m. one night and be like, "Please, can I buy a gambazon and some gloves?" And just sort of generally very like stressful time. But being in Dawn did actually manage to save the entire event for me at the last possible moment on Sunday of E1 with the Test of Ardor that we had going on then. And that being such a big thing that everyone could get involved in, regardless of anything, of like ability or whatever, was just a lot of fun. I was like, "Oh, okay. Alright, this is what LARP can be. Okay. I'm now, this is what it is, not what I think it's going to be. And it's actually a lot better."
Good. So your years has gone up and up, and then...
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. E4, despite the end of it, and the end of me in it, was my best event by far.
Yeah, I think at E4, a lot of people were worried about it, and there was a lot of anxiety going around about E4 from people there, but a lot of people I've spoken to have said their best event of the year by an absolute mile.
How it's very much helped is learning how to transport 40 to 50 kilos worth of kit across London to Milton Keynes on public transport. I've learned how not to do that, very much so, and so I'm less broken each event now as coming to and from.
Yeah, Mike does it. Skirmish crew Mike, he does it a lot, and he's very practiced and professional at doing it. So as Isam, how you doing, buddy? Good to see you. And Jazz, thank you for subbing. It's if I like having a folded... No comment. I'm just not going to comment on that one. What you do in your private life is up to you. So, Helen, as a new player, how was your E1?
I don't think I was at E1, was I?
No, you weren't. You
So really good. Warm, toasty.
well fed, hydrated.
Yeah, didn't get sunburnt.
I
Uh,
I get sunburnt every event.
my actual first E1 was awful.
Yes, it was.
And much like everyone else, I'm still five years in on an upwards trend. Not quite peaked. Eventually, might one day.
Yeah. Yeah, you had COVID at E1, didn't you?
Was I?
Yeah.
Yeah. No,
Yes, you did.
yes,
Yeah, you
yes,
and
I did. Yeah,
yeah,
I got
you-
COVID the week of E1. That's what I was doing.
yeah, you and Lily both had COVID because
Yeah.
I slept on the sofa in the living room,
Yes, I remember because we didn't want to give it to you, so you could still go.
so I could still go. Yeah, yeah, and I got it after E4, so
It was a slow burn for you.
you have all of the people on today. Emily and myself are preparing for tomorrow. 1 bottle of wine down in preparation. Good stuff, Dolly. Looking forward to seeing you tomorrow, mate. So yeah, there's going to be a few of us out, it seems now. So everyone's turning up afterwards tomorrow. We're all going to go to the Hobbit for drinks. So, but also got a healthy burn each event. Yeah, that's because Biscuit tends to the fire by hand. He literally has got burns. Yeah, yeah. You keep doing that. Hey, it's Mr. Wednesday. How you doing, buddy? Haven't seen you for a while. Hope you're good. So yeah, so E1 this year. I can't remember what I did. I can't remember what I did at E1. It'll be drug related and violence related.
You didn't die.
I didn't.
No.
No, I didn't die. I didn't die at that one. No. Yeah.
Inga did find Mac the Sunday.
Yes, you did. You came and found me on the Sunday, and we had you went through your mum's drawers and found a letter that Mac had written to her. It's going to be weird meeting your mum.
She's not coming. They sold out tickets.
Ah.
So sad. My grandma's going to be there though.
Anyways, that could be worse.
It
Yeah.
could be.
The things that my old character did to your daughter.
I'm gonna have to pre-warn her, like, just so you know.
Oh dear, so much fun. So much fun. How to get beaten up in one easy step. But yeah, so E1 was a bit of it was a weird one because it felt like everyone was finding their feet again and trying to get stuck in and get involved. Find out how their halls or houses and stuff like that were going to work together as well. How your characters interact with people, their personality, and everything. So I mean, I suppose Josh, now after E4, you've got the long dark, haven't you, now to work on something.
I think sort of like it's very much, I think, with my new character, I'm like, all right, what stuff did I really enjoy doing? What stuff do I want to do more of? And then there's a lot more confidence of, I think, like a lot of new players probably have this, of like first event, having that confidence to just throw yourself into the social RP side of the game.
Yeah,
it's quite daunting, even if you are like a very confident person. You're like, oh, I don't want to interrupt anyone's scenes or anything like that going on. But now I'm a lot better with that, and I'm just willing to come to E1 designed to annoy everyone. Shit.
Good. At least you've got an idea of what you're wanting to do. So that's good. So, I mean, we'll just skirt over all 4 events, and then we'll go like for the hots and nots, highs and lows throughout the whole year for people, best things, and because I love to hear stories. I love to hear people's stories. Obviously, when it comes to E4, Josh, I want to hear how your character died. I want to hear it. I want to hear that.
I love telling the story about it all. It was fantastic.
Excellent. Obviously, chat if you want to got any questions or anything for the newbies. Not so much newbies actually anymore, but for the first year ones, then don't know what to refer to you as anymore. For the players, there we go. You're one of us now. So you're finally there. You've finally LARPed. Wait, if Helen is in the stream, who will tell you it's time? I know, right? Well, actually, no. Helen will just sit there going,
That one Judge Judy gif. Just...
yeah. So
See me come in behind you. Yeah, I'll come out of this room and come in the next
emerge through the
camera.
green screen.
yeah, I get taken out by a green screen. So
I'll just end my call. That's it. I just leave.
you fuck all
Done
the
now.
okay, all up, yeah, for the LARPers. Yes. So E2 then. I'm not going to talk about E2 for me because I don't want to. Beth, how was your E2?
Hard. I wasn't expecting to have to do like internal conflict, emotional roleplay at my second event. It was unexpected. And I had like I was like pre-expecting the sister element, and so I kind of like threw myself into that, but then when Mac died, I was like, I haven't been prepared for this, I don't know how to handle it. So yeah, it was really hard and gave me a lot of like doubts about whether I'm any good at role-playing. Because I just didn't know what to do with it. Like Beth didn't know what to do with it, Inga didn't know what to do with it. It was just so I kind of ended up leaning into Inga not knowing what to do with it. She was like, I haven't even decided if I like this man yet, and now he's dead. So, yeah. This is the thing, I don't even know what else happened at E2. I remember E2 less clearly than E1 because of that. Like, because it was just so full of being a sister and Mac dying. It was, weird.
You threatened Tiny a lot.
Oh yeah, there was the pub crawl. That was amazing.
Yeah,
That was really good. That was very much like annual hot. Was the pub crawl? I couldn't have even told you that was at E2 until you mentioned it. I'd be like, I was some point this year.
Yeah, it's. I don't think you're the only one who felt that, because obviously, well, for me, I died, but yeah, and obviously with we all left on the Saturday night because I couldn't handle it. And it's the thing that is, like, as Mark's just said, that it's the thing no one warns you about. This sort of role play, people around you dying and stuff like that. I had a wonderful chat with Biscuit about it all, and he's just said he's played his character like for the first time or second time, and it's just like he doesn't know what he's going to do if his character dies. It's like, it's amazing how much it hits you and how quickly these sorts of things can hit you. But I mean,
sorry, go on.
No, go for it.
It's weird how excited I am to play my next character, even though I am in no way, shape, or form ready to let go of Inga yet. Like, it's very conflicting.
Biscuits just said Kagan's not going to die though, right? Right? I've already explained to Biscuit that I had the chance to murder him in a battle, and if I was Mac, I probably would have done. So, but...
Well, don't worry, because Mac's daughter's still there to...
Yeah, she'll do it.
To wreak havoc.
She's, I'm so proud of you, though, especially as Inga, because I've had so many people coming up to me and saying, she's nuts. She's absolutely insane.
That's the goal.
She's absolutely insane, and she is definitely Mac's daughter.
That is exactly the goal. That's exactly what I'm going
sort
for.
of like, oh, that's so good. That's so good.
I just want to, like, without going into too much detail, my mum had this friend when she was in her 20s who was just completely, like, would just do the weirdest things to take the mickey out of people, and that's what I want Inga to be.
Oh, there's a lot of people talking about what they'll do if they die now in chat.
Oh.
So if Leo dies at this point, I'll be devastated. Pretty sure he's immortal like Kagan, though. If Biscuit dies, he can just come back as a wafer. I retired Dag a week ago. Oh fuck! I thought you died. I didn't realise you retired him. Oh, Dag was good. That sucks, man. But yeah, it is a weird feeling. But you're going to go Iron Tide, and hell, you'll see a lot more of me now because I'm like a footballer. I'm being loaned out, and I can't wait. I'm really looking forward to it. But you can all come join our horde if you die. That's with Bolam, so that's Crimson Reapers. I think we should all do that. Everyone in the Hefty fan become a Crimson Reaper. Crimson Reapers
There's enough of them.
Yeah, Crimson Reaper goes from being 26 to 400.
To a whole army.
To a whole army. Could you imagine that? It's going up to the general. So yeah, we're here to fight as a mercenary banner. How many of you are there? 350. What?
I have to look at some spreadsheets. Hang on.
Yeah, it would be really, really weird. Ryan would love to mince about as a Crimson Reaper. We can't have any more Reapers. It's getting out of hand already. Iron Tide Bane. Nice.
Like the Wintermark joke where it's like, yeah, the Crimson Reapers and the rest of the league. It's like the Wintermark thing where everyone's dunning.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, I'm liking the fact that Crimson Reapers are now becoming the de facto mercenary group now in the Empire. I'm really liking that. I'm doing my very best to say how shit they are because they let people die, regardless of their contract clause that they put in that morning.
But you're not salty about it.
Not salty at all. A bunch of bastards. I'll literally stage a coup of the Empire at that point. That'd be so much fun. Hey, Carton, how you doing? Anything for my beau, Jean de Sarvos. Oh, where's Heidi when you need her? People hating it's wonderful. I've got bad news for you. You might not be his only love. Oh dear! I can't start laughing. I can't start laughing again because that's just me done for the rest of the stream. Then, Josh, E2 for you. How was yours? How did it go?
I wasn't there. I couldn't afford to go, and I was right up against uni deadlines, basically the same week, roughly. But it was a weird one, kind of not being there, but also being the Earl of a house.
Yeah. And
just being like, all right. I guess I'll hear back on any important stuff because there was 4 of us from Baranor at E1 and then 2 of us, Gigi and Bebs at E2. So it was just kind of like, all right, don't disgrace the house while I'm gone. There are no nobles in attendance, so be good.
Yeah.
And it's the one time Bebs hasn't died, so.
Okay. Well, there's something at least. So E2. Not much happened for you then. So, like Helen at E1, you were warm, comfortable, well-fed, well-rested.
Got my first A on a uni project. It was a great time.
Fantastic! Congratulations. That's awesome. We've had a couple of questions, but we'll come to it after Helen. E2, first event of the year. We had a small person there with us.
Yeah, we did. That one was... I was already pretty anxious because, I struggle a lot with Keen for Empire. I use Empire as a very expensive piss-up. And so every single event I go, why am I doing this? I can't roleplay. I don't like roleplay. This is stupid. This is so expensive. Then I go and it's all right. And that was the same, except I'd had, 2 years of doing that to really lead into it, where I was just like, why am I doing this? And then you died. And so, I think it's very, very bizarre, because obviously for you, it's your own character, but the very first time I met you, you were Mac.
I know.
So the entire time Steve and I have been together, he has been Mac. So it was very bizarre, and I didn't know what to do about it. And I remember that you were going to do yeah, and obviously we just had Lily come, and it was like, your dad's dead. Enjoy separating that from the real world at your first event. And so yeah, it was just an awful lot. We left on the Saturday, so we didn't get to do the pub crawl. Yeah, it was, considering that it was the first event back after the long dark. It was quite a big one, and we really just didn't have any of the spoons left after the Saturday to stick around and do any of the rest of it. So yeah, E3 and E4 were really the events we did this year.
Yeah. I cried a lot after E2. I was all right until Kit came down. I was fine. I was just very quiet, and then he came down and gave me a hug, and I burst into tears. The bastard! It's his fault entirely. The little shit. Not little shit. He's really tall. Big shit. He's like a floater that'll be a danger to shipping when it gets into the channel. If you've seen any of Bottom, that was fucking hilarious. The Aid Edmondson Rick Mail stuff, that was great. Blame Kit for everything seems legit. What a bloody I know, right? Cheers Wednesday.
Was your whispers through the Black Gate E2 or E3?
E3.
Right. It all blurs.
Drinking at Empire is cheap because it's not real money. I say after spending untold amounts on tickets, tents, kit, travel, Pungrongo. Yep, massively so. Right. That's a reference. I know, right? I'm proud of that reference. I loved watching Bottom. So Gallon's got a nice thing to say about Helen, and so's Ryan. Welcome to the Hefty Fan, Carino. New to the Discord. Welcome. You've only been watching on YouTube, I believe. So, one of us now, unfortunately. You poor fool, you. Hey, you are my apothecary, partner, economic council member.
Oh.
Your roleplay is ace. There you go. That's from Gallon.
The secret is I'm never role-playing. If I've called you an idiot to your face, it's because Helen thinks you're an idiot.
So when you've threatened me...
Yeah.
Okay, right, excellent stuff. Ryan says, you are a delight, Helen. So pleased to be one of the ladies who lunch.
It's a fabulous bunch of ladies.
Yeah, I was there last time.
Exactly.
I need a wig. So, let's go back through the questions, because there was one here. I've lost it. Ryan put up a question specifically for Josh. Question for Josh. Did you feel like you missed out in any major way by missing a main event?
It's interesting. I remember it feeling to me, I don't know if there is actually any sort of like big difference in the time frame between events, but like E1 and E2 at least for me felt very close together. So I think in some way I was kind of thankful for having a bit of a reprieve to get myself sorted and have stuff ready for E3 more so than I would have had for E2. But I do think that I think things would have gone very differently for me if I'd been at E2 and not had sort of the time thinking up to E3 to like figure out where I wanted to go. Because I think it was after E2 that I probably locked in wanting to go into priest game stuff, and that ended up being a big part of my E3, my E4. Whereas I think if I had gone to E2, I still wouldn't have been able to like sort out kit elements that ended up coming very much in handy. But I think I probably would have ended up throwing myself a lot more into the political side of everything.
Yeah.
Which, given any time I've gone to Earl's Council, I've been like, oh, I don't like sitting through meetings, regardless of how I'm dressed. This is quite dull. So I think there's a chance it would have potentially compounded the issues I was having at E1. But I think now the idea of missing a major event, I'm like, but I'd miss out on doing so many things. I think now that I've got everything in gear of like what I enjoy, what I like doing, it's like, no, I want to be in everything. I want to be in everything, can be a part of everything. I don't want to miss stuff.
Okay. That's cool. So, Chris has asked, this is one for everyone, apart from me, because I talk too much anyway. What has been your favourite moment of the year? So, Josh, if you want to carry on.
Yeah, dying to like and everything that came with it. Because I managed to get brought back through the Sentinel Gate, and there was some fantastic RP, which I'll go into the detail of it when we get to talk about E4 stuff. But yeah, actually getting back through the gate and getting to do all the RP of dying, rather than just kind of lying there on the dirt and then being like, oh, well, guess I'll go walk up to God and then awkwardly pop back into. There's multiple times seen people who have died and then not made it back. And then it's just a thing where you see them and you go, oh, no, they've got their hand up there. Just having to sneak back into their tent and be like, I'm not this person you met before. I'm now this legally distinct person.
Yeah, I know that feeling. Happened to me at E4, actually. I was in Varushka, someone came running over and gave me a hug. It's like, Mac! I was just like, no, I think I look like that person. And they were just like, oh, no. And they looked genuinely upset. It's like... this absolutely sucks balls. And they just went, I'm going to treat you the same way I treated him. Cal! I was like, yeah, I'm alright with this. This is fine.
Yeah.
So, Beth, how about you? Then,
What was the question?
Favourite moment of the year? Fuck me. Wow.
So, I've got like an IC one and an OC one. Okay. IC probably like finally going into battle, just because I was so nervous about it, and it had been such a build up because I was going to go into battle. I was thinking about going into battle in my first event. I wasn't sure I was going to do it, but I was like, I might. I sprained my ankle, so I couldn't. And then by the time we got to E3, I was like scared too. I'd like got too much anxiety built up about it. But yeah, it was really good to finally do this thing that I'd been excited about for like years. And yeah, it was really good. And OC, it was kind of like IC leading into OC, but it's just for some reason this moment really sticks in my head was after the pub crawl at E2, the Mac wake crawl. We just ended up like breaking into the glory square, and just Kit was like, to the hefty fucking yeti, and we all like had our last drinks, and it was really nice. It was a nice moment. So.
Oh, good. That's nice. Something just fell down in the kitchen. I'll clean that up later. Helen, what about you? Your favourite moment of the year?
It's tricky because I don't actually think I've got an obvious one, and that's largely because I don't actually actively do much. Probably OC and IC. I have an ego that's too big for myself. And so my favourite thing is when people actually come and need me for things.
Right. Bit of validation.
So, yeah. Constant validation is what I require. So, yeah, having people actually, for once, come up to me and go, you're this person that I need to speak to, or Bron's not here, can I speak to you? Or Tillion's not here, can I speak to you? Actually having people who recognise me, I see, enough to go, oh wait, you're that person I was looking for. Is a relatively new thing this year. Favourite moment is probably the Whispers Through the Black Gate. Just because it's so memorable, because everything led up to it. So I ended up... There was... one of the people from Ashenhall was desperately looking for Goose Whisper. And I spent about... 40 minutes in the queue at God making this bloody Goose Whisper for them, to then discover that I was, because obviously, time's not a thing at Empire, so then once I found out the time, had to then leg it all the way across to the Reggio for the Whispers Through the Black Gate, missed the first half. So I turned up really distraught, like OC and IC, because I was like, oh my god, Helen and Yana didn't want to miss it. And it was a really moving thing to watch and be part of. But, OC, I was also just, absolutely devastated. So the combination of it meant it just is one of these things that's just stuck in my memory. It's like, oh my god, I can't believe I managed to I mean, I didn't hold it together, as Steve can vouch for, but I held it together somewhat. And I don't think anyone else really realised that I wasn't just icy upset. I was also like knackered from booking it across the field in my kit to get there.
Yeah.
So yeah, but that was quite a good thing to manage to catch the end of.
Yeah, the Whispers was a big highlight.
Oh, that right. I've just read the comments. That was a highlight. So me and Rowan, or Headband, as Steve's taken to calling her, right? We were sat in the tent, and I wasn't that drunk, but Tillian started flicking hairbands around, and this poor stranger had come in to speak to him, and I went to flick it back and hit Steve, and managed to perfectly miss Steve and get this poor person in right on the side of their face as they were stood there trading.
Yeah.
And I'd never been so mortified as in that moment. That was pretty good.
You did well. You all did well. Yeah. That was a funny moment. I think, yeah, the Whispers was a big thing. And I got Nick and the Crimson Reapers lot who came over to do it. They did a wonderful, wonderful job on that. And then everyone who sang Wayfaring Stranger as well, who joined in, because fuck me, I was heartbroken. And I don't know if it came across at all. After I sang like 8 or 9 words, and then my voice started to wobble, and I started crying, and everybody just, was there singing along, and walking away from that was really good. And then, doing my very best to scar my children for life with that as well. Needed to go off on a really low point. Wouldn't die for my kids. I'd die for Grim, though.
Literally, Inga was so angry. She still is.
Yeah, it was wonderful.
She's more angry that he wouldn't stay alive for his kids, but he would die for Grim.
Yeah. Hey, we were getting married. Mac and Grim were getting married. Just so you know. Alright? So, but, yeah. There was lots of stuff going on there. A lot of emotions. Your don't be like me speech. Fucking heartbreaking. Yeah. I think that's the best advice Matt could give anybody. Don't be like me. So, alright then, let's go back up, because there were a few more questions. Let's go for a few more questions. So, Chris is asked, what's your biggest learning curve this year? Beth.
So, for me, there is always a bad bit of an event. Like, there is always a bit of an event where I'm like, I want to go home. Right. Every time. Which is strange, because you know that you were really enjoying yourself 3 hours ago, and you'll really enjoy yourself in another 3 hours. But sometimes you just need to decompress and feel sad for a couple of hours.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, massively.
That was really weird, because I wasn't expecting it. And it's hard, because feeling shitty is shitty.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
For me,
but I've just learned that it happens now.
Yeah, it's Saturday evening for me. I need an hour. I have to walk away, because it'll be anything that will set me off, and it'll be something completely innocuous, and I'll just go, nope, I've got to walk away, and I do. So, I mean, thankfully at E4 when it happened, I had Issam was there, and we went off, bite to eat, lots of hugs, really, really nice. Kit's been there, and as well, and Helen's always there, and she picks me up when I come back, and I'm like, I'm sorry, I've walked away, and we have a hug, and that's it, and it's really nice. So, but you need to do what's best for your mental health, always. And if you have to walk away, walk away. If you need to go and find someone and say, Can we have 5 minutes, 10 minutes off a little chat? Then you do that too. If you're feeling crap and it's on a Saturday, I'm the last person in the field that you need to find, because I'll be in the same boat as you. It's like the Titanic. It'll be really bad for everyone involved. So, but yeah. So no, that is a big learning curve, being able to recognize something like that. So no, I'm really pleased that you've done that. So that's a good place to be, and I hope I'm always very open and honest with my mental health and how it does my nut in when I'm in the field, especially, and stuff. So but Hefty fam, always pick each other up, always have done. It's wonderful. Jesus, we are a cult, aren't we?
All glory to Hefty fam.
I think you mean a union.
I mean, no, it's not a cult.
Yeah, we're a union. We're a union. Sorry, Digby. I'm not sorry at all. Josh, how about yourself?
I think definitely how overstimulating Empire can be, because it's essentially non-stop. Even going into the evening, the lines blur, but it's just constant 3-4 day social engagement thing. I think for me, the biggest lessons I've learned have been the importance of practical kit, being Dornish, in practical things big sleeves, all this kind of stuff, very much not an issue. But having underlayers that are not going to have what I had by the end of E3, which was chafing so bad that I could barely walk, and then had to get home. That was horrible. As well as I mentioned previously, getting to and from events. E1 and E3, myself and Alex, my partner, didn't get home until midnight each time. Leaving site around 5 or 6 both times.
Yeah.
Only having to get back to London, which is maybe, if everything goes fine, 3 hours from site to home.
Yeah.
But E1, just hell. I was so exhausted on the way back from both E1 and E2 when we were on the train from Milton Keynes to Euston, that I was just fully basically disassociated on the train, because there's no sitting room the way we have our luggage. We have it on a trolley. It's not something that easily then goes into a luggage rack, so I have to stay with it in one of the in-between bits of the carriages, just trying not to oh god, please kill me, on public transport. But thankfully E4 was a lot easier. We managed to organise taxis with people. The one downside was getting from Dawn to the gate, which is where we'll get picked up with our taxi.
Yeah.
With a trolley loaded with 50 odd kilos worth of kit that is not designed for off-road use. Works fine in train stations and urban environments. Doesn't work fine on the wood chip roads around there. Thankfully, there are some very kind people on the road there who helped me. Literally, I had 3 people different steps of the way, helping a few seconds after the other person was like, "Well, I've got to stay here. Best of luck." A few seconds later, someone else said, "You want a hand with that?" I'm like, "Yes, please. I'm going to die otherwise." Yeah, I think just I've gone camping. I've done a lot of RP stuff. Doing them all together introduces a whole lot of other variables that you don't necessarily think about. Wearing the same pair of jogging bottoms all 4 days that you're at an event, not the right move. Don't do it. Terrible idea.
I mean, I think every event, it has something that everyone learns from saying, "Oh, I'm going to do it differently this time. I'm going to do this differently this time." 9 times out of 10, you inevitably end up doing it the same.
Yeah.
So it's all Mr. Wednesday, I popped in to say hi, but you'll have got me listening properly now. Well done. So he's coming. Excellent.
One of us.
So yeah, I've been to Airsoft with Wednesday, and really nice guy. He'll fit in well in Wintermark. It's very similar looking to me. It's just very ginger. So, oh dear. If you need to decompress at any point, use that opportunity to fuel your body. It's probably been a while since you have done.
Yeah.
So, words of wisdom from Issam there.
Remembering to eat is such a big thing.
Yeah. So, I'd actually, funny enough that Pete says that. Peter said, if you need to decompress, come find us in the coast. Got a lovely soft cushion pile on rugs, which is so comfy, it's unbelievable. Soft lights, tucked away and quiet. I was sending people to Pete. I had actually people in the Brass Coast who were struggling. I was saying, right, you're going to find there's a dwarf. It's not actually a dwarf, but he looks like a dwarf. He might as well be a dwarf. His beard comes down to his knees, and all of that is like, and he's got the loveliest man ever. So I was sending them to find him, and people were saying that they did find someone who matched that description. So I hope Pete did have lots of visitors, because I was sending them all to him. So he's definitely 99% dwarf. Yeah, thank you, Jazz. So if you've never been to the Brass Coast, go and find Pete. That's all I'm going to say, is find someone who matches that description, with a beard down to his knees, might as well be. And yeah, really, we had a few, I believe. Yeah, no worries, come chill. I really wanted to go over and find Pete, but I was so busy at E4, I couldn't. But yeah, great place to go, always worth a visit. Right, just going back up to Pete's question, and then I'll go down to Bolam's one. So Peter's asked, which was the one moment out of all the events this year that was the most traumatic for you / your character, and which was one crowning moment of glory? So I feel like we're going to get the death story here as well.
Yeah.
So that's fine. I mean, I want to hear story. We're all here for stories at the end of the day. So, Josh, go for it. Answer that one.
Anyone who attended E4 may have heard that a lot of the skirmishes designed to make the Sunday battle easier didn't go very well at all. I was on one of them. I was on the Tortured Soul Agromant Herald skirmish on Friday.
Oh my god! You weren't on that one?
Yeah, because I'd gotten into the priest game. I was an exorcist.
Oh no!
I was in high demand for E4.
Oh no!
In like some ways, I think that skirmish was more traumatic than dying. Just because I'd never gone on a skirmish before, let alone a night skirmish.
Oh, don't start with a night skirmish.
Against tortured souls. You get onto the field and you're like, okay, there'll be like people in hoods with some makeup, and then you're walking around like, oh, what's going on? And then you hear a fucking Nazgul shriek, and you're like, oh fuck, all right, this is gonna be a time. Couldn't see anything, couldn't tell who was like Druge or Imperial. I got a glimpse of the Herald, and then he immediately slammed me in the chest with a rappel, and I went, flying backwards. And then it was like, well, this is we've got to get out of here. But
oh my god, Sunday
battle. They'd made a Dornish exorcist block. Like we'd got a sect. We all got sworn into the sect. So I was like, right, there's a lot of tortured souls here.
A union.
Right. And we got split into little, small little squads of like 3 or 4 people. We went in. Had to immediately charge straight out the gate down the entire field. I really had my cardio put to a test this event. Eventually get into the woods, dealing with that, basically sort of slowly curving around from the left round to the center of the woods. Get to the center, because we're a Dornish exorcist block, in lieu of tortured souls, we're like, right, well, we all have like shields and long stabby sticks, let's go bolster a line. We're basically right at the center of the like woods, pushing forward. And then I've heard sort of various things like OC of like why suddenly there were a bunch more Druge, but got just overrun immediately. The line disappears beside me. I get taken down, and I'm on the bleed. I'm like, okay, well, they can't have been pushed back that Oh, they're gone. Everyone's
Yeah.
and I'm like, okay, I can see the Brass Coast. I'm like, all right, I've got 3 minutes. There's a decent chance Brass Coast make it to me, and I'll be okay. A ref comes over, gives me a traumatic wound card. I'm like, yes, yeah,
Perfect.
fantastic. Chest wound, this will be great. And then a fucking Druge comes wandering over and be like, you want some venom in your veins? I'm like, well, here we go. Get venomed.
Oh.
I still had like 2 minutes left. Get venomed.
30 seconds.
30 seconds. Dead. Wander over to the corpse pile. I was like, you know what? I died in a very Dawnish way. Being like front and center in a like fool's errand, perhaps. Surrounded. Get to the corpse pile. And then Drew's getting pushed back and pushed back and pushed back and pushed back. I'm like, oh, we might actually, get to leave. See some people like Imperial start trickling into the corpse pile. Be like, I like sort of getting people. I'm like, I really hope someone who knows me comes and like finds me in here, and I'm not just left in the pile. And then eventually, someone from who I know in Dawn finds me, which is like was such a sad situation because of all the people to find me. It was friend Connor, who plays Guy Wooder, whose character has had so many friends and companions die this year. And I was like, I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry that you had to be the one to find me. He gets me back to my house, who are on the field as well. They're part of like a major part of the like Dawnish physic block. Get to have sort of like dramatic reunion moments there, like on the field. Eventually get carried through the Sentinel Gate to Dawn, get my armor off because I've been, it's heavy and I don't want to have to try and like do anything dramatic while wearing full chainmail and everything. Get my friend Daisy to pour, like you're playing a physics, to pour just basically an entire bottle of fake blood down my chest, which was very good aesthetic. Had some like good RP with people in the house at our like camp, and then headed up to the Glory Square. And I had never Dawn lost, I think in total over the weekend, maybe 40 people. The current count has put it, I think we've got it to 38 total dead Dawnish over the entire weekend, 20 something on the Sunday battle alone. So we were all laid out. I sort of like had missed the start of the whole Hail the Glorious Dead speeches. But they bring Bebs' character over to me as well, because he had also died during that fight. We'd had a brief sort of reunion on the field while both dying, both propped against a tree, being like, got you two as well, eh? And like if you've seen Bebs on the field, he has his wonderfully painted like red and gold armor, but his character Arthur isn't officially a Yofolk of our house or anything like that. He's not Gear Test Metal. He didn't sort of like want one. He wanted to kind of have the sort of free affiliation. But I was like, I've got an opportunity here to do something dramatic. I'd been given herbs by a physic that allowed me to move of my own accord and everything while terminal. Bebs hadn't, and I was basically was also like very like surprised of how emotional I was. Like I'd been crying since being reunited with my house on the like battlefield. I was like, oh, I didn't expect this to happen at all, but here we are. I think it's that thing of when you get carried to a group of friends and you see them just turn and look completely horror-struck and grief-stricken, like, oh, this suddenly feels very real. But go like sort of get Bebs to his knees, and I'm like, would you have fought valiantly, bravely, gloriously, in our colours. Would you do me the privilege of giving you a test of mettle before the end? And he says, yeah. And I say, your test of mettle is to stand with me. And so I, with both my hands, get him up to his feet. I get them to bring my songbook, because I had literally, either that morning or the day before, written out a couple of songs that I'd filled into a book. One of them being a Filk of Into the West.
Nice.
That I'd made, fitting. And sang that, holding Arthur up. And when I finished, I declared him Sir Arthur Baranor, he then collapsed, dead, with a unintentionally quite funny pratfall, but in the moment was great. But he just fully ate shit completely, and then I collapsed down as well. Said my final goodbyes to Gigi, who's my main character, was my main character sister. I had already been you, to another noble of the house, you are my Earl presumptive, and then died. And then it was the very funny thing of having to go, all right, cool, I'm dead. Oh, now I have to lie here for however long while people RP around my corpse. But I got testimonied, and then had the great moment of being like,
yeah,
back to the tent I go.
That,
but yeah,
fuck me. That's amazing. That was so good. That's a death and a half. That's the sort of story that you want to get out of it. That's fantastic.
It was that feeling of be we're both about to die. Let's just fucking go for something that will be memorable.
Yeah, no, that's amazing. That's fantastic to hear. I hope your next death is just as good. I really do. I mean, it's meant in the best possible way as well, because
I very much have a thing in any kind of roleplay situation, especially ones that have combat as a part of them, and that's something I want to engage in. If there isn't a chance that I'm gonna bite it at some point, then that's taking half the fun out of it for me.
Yeah, no, that's fantastic. So, you and Gigi, were you half brother sister, or?
Gigi was adopted.
There we go. Then that's fine.
By Dawnish tradition. No, I'm not entailed in all of that.
No.
I could see you being like,
You're not been into the My Balls book.
No, you're not in that book.
Dawnish traditions of adoption are very strong. So
that's wonderful. I love it. That's a fantastic one. That really is. Oh, someone is smoking weed. Got a strong waft of it coming through the open door there. Oh well. I forgot what the question was. Yeah. Most traumatic and crowning moment of glory. So, I mean, to be honest, that's that question for you, isn't it? There,
yeah.
Josh? There's both in one.
I think that's the most glorious death.
That's wonderful. Yeah, that's really, really good. There's something really nice about when people are dead on the battlefield, bringing them back through as well, so that they get that final send off. I do enjoy doing that. Or you get the flip side of it, where it's someone you really despised in character. You get to leave them somewhere else and just watch them die. Because let's face it, Mac was quite heartless.
It was we joked at E3 when there was the Senate elections for our territory. Baldwin had all of his Senate election favors on a necklace and went into battle. And it was just the continuous joke of, if he goes down, get the necklace full of favors. Just sort of leaning down there I'm not a physic, I can't do anything to help you right now, but I will be taking these, so you have fun and good luck. Enjoy the labyrinth.
Yeah, definitely. Okay, Beth, your turn.
Yeah, traumatic for... Again, it's different for me and for Inga. My most traumatic thing was Mac dying, because that was just an all-round difficult thing to deal with. But the most traumatic for Inga was definitely Ingvar dying, because that was her childhood dying. Because Inga's younger than me, deliberately, because I wanted to play a more youthful, naive character. So, so when Ingvar died, that was that's changed her whole life, and it's been difficult to kind of decide what I want to do with that. And she's going down a certain direction at the moment with that, but whether or not that changes in the future, we'll see. But yeah, Ingvar dying was just it was her unimaginable tragedy, you know. Yeah, And she didn't get to say there was no goodbye. I just like saw Mike and was like, "You dead, aren't you?" He was like, "Yeah, good." It's like, sick, thanks. Just gonna sit here for 20 minutes and process that before I go back into character. Thanks, bro.
Nice.
Um,
So about the crowning moment of glory.
I don't think she has one yet. I don't actually think that she has a like glorious heroic moment,
I've heard of one.
and I think that's okay. Go on, what do you think?
I have been told by a certain orc who was monstering, who got absolutely battered by you.
I don't remember that.
Got absolutely battered by you, and it is, and they actually compared you to how I fight as well.
That's so weird.
And
I
it
mean, I
was-
had the hammer.
Yeah. So
But
and
the whole battle's a blur. I literally couldn't tell you most of what happened in that battle, honestly.
it was about an hour long, and it was just a lot of walking around for me. But yeah, it wasn't difficult. It wasn't a difficult battle, that.
No, we just kept going, didn't we?
Yeah. Apart from the Wintermark's middle decided not to form at
Yeah,
all.
I kept being like, plug that hole, plug that. Like, I entered general mode, even though that's so not what I was gonna do. That was not my plan. But when I got there, I was like, why are there holes in the line? Plug the holes.
Yeah, I
So-
did a similar thing.
So, like ordering people around.
I had the Wintermark general come over and say, right, take your little group and go off over there and do that. It's like, nah. Walked away. Wandered off. It's just like, no, not interested. Gonna go and do my own thing. I said, I'm gonna go and kill that general for you. And he's like, fine.
Off we go, have fun.
Yeah, the general ran away.
Smart
I
choice,
don't-
really.
I don't
So
have like a crowning moment yet. I don't have anything that I see as her like heroic or glorious moment. So
something to
yeah,
aim for.
but I think that's okay. That's all right. I'm
Yeah,
fine
yeah,
with
of course
that.
it
It's not
is.
happened yet. We'll
Yeah.
get there.
But when it does happen, you'll look back at it and it'll be
Yeah.
a big shiny thing. So no, that's really cool. That's really cool. But I know you're doing a lot of things at the moment. You're involved in a lot, so that's good.
I'm for some insane reason trying to get involved in Monster.
Good. It's a good way to be. Right, Helen.
Oh gosh. Traumatic was actually hearing that Mac had properly died. So that was in the Bourse auction,
Hmm.
because I remember Tillian had told me I was coming along, and he thought I was lying to him to get out. So I went over to him and I leant up and I went, "Mac's dead." And he looked at me and went, "What?" I went, "Mac's dead." And he went, "What are you talking about?" I said, "I need to go." I said, "Mac's dead." And he thought I was lying. So he looked at me like, "You cheat, you've managed to escape out of here so you don't have to bid on anything." So it wasn't until he came back later and he found out that you were dead again from someone else. He was like, "Oh my god, she was actually telling the truth." But that was pretty traumatic because it was just so public. And I remember it was Cara and Gareth who turned up to tell me, because no one had been able to track us down because we'd been at the Bourse auction.
Yeah.
And then Glory, like I say, my character's not about all these like big heroic things. At the minute, I'm mostly about just being a little bit of a, for people that Yana likes, she'll do anything for. If you're on my bad side, it's really subtle, but I am going to make your life as difficult as humanly possible. So things like Icy, I love screwing with the Dunnings. And so stuff like Tillian and I got involved in the Wintermark Economic Council. And we went for one of the Bourse seats, and the Dunnings really wanted to put one of their people on the seat, and I was in the Bourse auction whispering in their ear that it was Lumi and it was, other people that were going on it, and sorry, your person's not on it. Stuff like that. So we helped Lumi get her seat. But yeah, it's just and stuff like screwing with the. So hopefully my big glory is going to be next year, really buggering the Apothecaries Guild. Which everyone's welcome to come ask me about. Icy, please do. I'd love to have a rant about it.
Yeah, I know you do. I know. Okay, that's good. So this one's directed to the two other LARPers, not the two that not you, hun. You shush.
The fresh ones.
The fresh meat.
Nubal.
Freshly peeled.
Freshly peeled. Yeah, we'll go with that. What's something you learned wasn't for you? It could be an aspect of LARP or Empire. Beth, Josh, either or.
My resource was not for me. It makes sense. It makes sense to have a business because of my character background. And I thought when I started that I just wanted some money to like potter around with. I didn't think I wanted stuff. I didn't think I could be bothered to sell it or deal with it or any of that. And at the last event, I changed my resource to a fleet so that I could have new and interesting things every season. Okay. And so that what are they called? The spells. Rituals, so that the rituals were worth doing.
Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, it was not fun. It was unexciting to get money in your play pack, and everyone else is wandering around with like stuff to sell. And I thought I didn't want to wander around with stuff to sell, but it turns out I do want to wander around with stuff to sell, and talk to new people and see if I can get a good price and all that stuff. So yeah.
Okay, that's cool. I mean, yeah. I mean, if you find something that's not for you, at least you've been able to change it and do other things. So, how about you, Josh?
I actually also swapped my resource after E1. I swapped a lot of stuff out after E1. I swapped from a Welt Silver mine to a military unit for kind of similar reasons that you did better. Like, there's just more inbuilt RP if you have something like a military unit or a fleet, because you're like, oh, I went and did this. I was, it meant I felt, especially in Dawn, where military is such a big core part of the game, being like, well, I was in Zenith doing this shit, so don't talk to me about what like all this is costing, you bastards. I think ultimately, though, I think this came from playing an Earl and then also getting into the priest game. I don't like meetings. Regardless of what they're talking about, having to just kind of stand around and listen to people like, the next point on the agenda is this. I'm like, I'd rather be lying in the dirt outside. And in the case of some of the National Assemblies and Earls Council meetings, they have just been in the dirt outside. There's been multiple ones that have just been stood in the Glory Square. At E1, we had Earls Council after sundown in the Glory Square. I was like, this is horrible. It's very windy and cold, and but yeah, I was never a synod priest because I think that would actually make me want to cry having to sit through synod. I could never be a conclave mage or anything. I am excited. The current idea I have for my next character is going to be more of like a wandering around bardic troubadour type. So I'm not going to be in any meetings. I'm just going to be going around poking things a lot and seeing what tries to bite back. And I think that's going to be a lot more engaging for me. But it's very funny because I had a friend who was going to be my retainer. If I'd survived, he was going to be joining us at E1. It would be my retainer. And he was like, "Oh, I love going to meetings. I'll happily go to them." Like, all right, cool, fantastic. You go to the meetings. Give me a brief cliff notes of anything I need to know about. That'll be perfect. But now I don't have to go to meetings because I'm not even a noble anymore. Fantastic.
Good. You're going to join the 2 feet?
Well, I mean, if they make a good enough offer, we'll see what happens.
2 feet in every nation. Be the first one in Dawn.
I do have 2 feet. That is true.
There we go. Then that's all you need. You're in.
Yeah, a real big misunderstanding of what the 2 feet mean.
We're not picky.
I love that. I like a proper Dornish noble house banner of just house 2 feet. We're not picky.
That would be great. I'd love that. You have to do it now. You've said it.
No. You'll be hunted down in the field.
So Debbie Harry says that your death was rough. The corpse pile in the battle was glorious. I'll read Ryan's question out in a little bit. The corpse pile in the battle was glorious from a Druge perspective, says Patrick. Kingly Kin, most of us at the hospital were anxiety-ridden, waiting for you all to get back. After the battle on Saturday, and how easy, well, I say easy, and how quickly we got everything done.
I mean, I was monstering that battle. I died once, and then we never respawned.
No,
well,
we just rolled it, and we got to the point where the refs were saying, "Yeah, don't go any further." They were actually actively stopping us from killing the last of you. So it was just like, we weren't allowed to do anything else. So it was a bit of a shame. But after that, I remember saying to people out of character, tomorrow's battle is going to be messy. It's going to be bad. And it was. Really bad. I love that I was the only member of our house not going on battle. So it was just like, if this goes bad, I could be the sole survivor. Synodic. Plants. That's exactly the kind of death that all Dornish dream of. Cheers, Pete. Did Mac have a family tree? No, he had a Mac's Big Book of Ball Spawn. He did have a family tree. It was more of a circle than anything.
Shrub.
The family, yeah. Are you allowed to transport wounded, etc.? Yes. You have to put your You're meant to put your weapons away and use both hands to move people. You see a lot of people, so 2 people with 1 weapon in hand, but you're not meant to do that either. It's both weapons away, both hands to carry someone. It's more of a fungus network. Cheers, Pat. So yeah, all I have are dumb questions. There's no dumb questions, Wednesday. No dumb questions, buddy. Jump on the. I think Wednesday's already on the Discord. So you're talking about Ingvar IC is big feels. His story on your Suak coat is, mwah. Yeah, he was telling me about that yesterday. Actually, how much he loves it.
I'm really pleased with it. Really pleased with it. It's not the only way she's going to tell the story. There's some icy stuff that she wants to do with Ingevar's story. So
good. The epitome of tiny body, ferocious package, Kingly Kin. Don't know what that's doing. That's probably Beth.
It's actually you.
Got 300 recruits for you. Yeah, there aren't enough Reapers, definitely. Sorry, I'm catching up with chat at the moment. I remember ordering Duncan around the battle, which was pretty surreal. Kept pushing him into holes in the line. Oh yeah, so yeah, we've had Duncan from the Yogs cast join Hurst Hall now as well, and he's really nice guy, really funny, and he's fucking hilarious when he's drunk. he's very funny when he's drunk. Meat's back on the menu. It was definitely during the Sunday battle. Blood and Salt. Hurstal, the largest landlocked navy. Yep. Thumbs up for joining the inexplicably large Wintermark private navy. Catch you later, Pat. You have a good evening at work. Right, okay, let's go back up to Ryan's question. I'll remember it, actually. So, this is for Josh, again. Did it make it easier for you dying around loads of people from Dawn?
I think it made it harder. I think being getting got out of the corpse pile and brought back to my house and my friends, and then brought back to Dawn made it I think if I just died, not been found, gone off on my way, it would be well, that sucked. It was I think all the the reactions afterwards and being still part of that made it so much more intensive.
Yeah.
Because as soon as I died, and I sort of went to tent, got changed, cleared up all the fake blood on me, and came back out as a quick temporary character for little Sunday. So it was 2 hours left. Just came back as a random yo folk. It was completely different. And I think if I'd skipped straight to that, it would have removed all of the intense emotion aspect from it, but I would not trade that experience for anything, regardless of how like wild it felt to just be full on sob crying a song in the middle of a field to your friend who's pretends he's dying while you're also pretends he's dying.
Yeah, I can imagine that would. Death's just a really odd one. It affects everybody differently. I mean, if you're like Justin, who dies 2-3 times an event, it's a hobby for him in itself. He comes to Empire to have his characters killed. But when he finds a character that he loves, he gets really stuck in, and that character will be around for 3 or 4 events, and then die in the most inexplicably stupid way imaginable. But there's always a story. We all aspire to kill Justin. We do. We absolutely do. I have to admit, at E4, I had a wonderful... Because I haven't fought with the Navarre for 8 years, 7 years, something like that. And then having Wintermark and the Navarre fight with each other. And then we all sort of wandered over, and I was fighting with the Navarre for a bit. And then having a moment where we took out their entire right flank. And we were just stood there, and then it turned around, and me and Justin were stood there face to face. And it was just like, hey, you're alive. Big hug. And that. So, but I did think it was quite funny. The one player death from that battle on Saturday was a player that was murdered by a Navarre. Yeah.
I think they were manslaughtered. But...
Yeah, they thought they were marching.
What was it though? Because I thought I'd heard that no one could actually corroborate that they were in fact killed by Navarre. The person who said that they were couldn't verify that was even true. They just said it.
Ah, there was a Yagara. Okay, so it wasn't then.
I heard one witness say that is what happened. But
who knows?
So one person said they were innocent.
Cheers, Dolly. Appreciate that. No one ever needs to see that. No one ever needs to see it. Oh, okay. MC. Right, okay, that's fine. I was going to say, because Bolan, your spelling there was amazing. Your wording, your English was amazing. No, it wasn't.
Okay, so even the winter markers couldn't tell the difference, so that says something.
Yeah,
much. I had loads. I spoke to Alfred the Red many a time about it. So he kept coming back going, still no update on that alleged winter marker that got killed or anything.
Yeah. So yeah, it was a weird one, but I'm sure that I know it's all still ongoing as well. So the militia are looking at it anyway. So fuck knows. Alfred will find someone and execute them. That's literally what that will happen. He'll just kill someone. Right, we've got a few questions left, so we'll go through those, and then because I just noticed the time. So Blues asked, what is one moment you never expected to find yourself in? Beth.
Inga got proposed to.
Oh yeah.
In a pub over a poker game. No, it wasn't part of the poker game. It was separate. We were playing poker, and then a friend of Inga's, who will remain unnamed because icy stuff, didn't propose directly to her, but was talking to this couple of leaguers who were fans of his for, again, reasons which will go unsaid on stream. They were his fans, and they were like, this man has you have his heart, you're so lucky, and they were trying to convince Inga to marry him, and it was just the weirdest situation and some of the most fun I've had role-playing ever. It was brilliant. And completely wild. And then she was trying to, sort it out as a business arrangement because Inga doesn't believe in love. Well, she believes in love, she just believes that you could choose not to romantically love someone.
Okay.
Just very anti-Dawn. And, yeah, she was trying to sort out this business arrangement between her and this friend, and get some white granite out of it.
Wow.
What's love for otherwise?
Exactly.
Excellent. Yeah, because that's led on to my moment that I never thought I'd find myself in. But I'll come on to that one last. Josh, go for it.
I think mine is I think it's going to be like being in battles and realizing in like multiple situations, multiple times at both like E3 and E4, of the I think I'm in charge of this line now. I'm in charge of this group, and all right, let's go. And by and large, had some very good results, except for that one time it very much didn't go well. But like on the E4 Sunday battle, at the point like after we charged in, met the Druge like on the open field, we were heading towards the woods because that's where the tortured souls were.
Yeah.
And there were a bunch of Druge starting to flank into the back of the people trying to go into the woods just as we were coming in. And so I was like, "We've got Druge coming in." I was like, "All right." You know that bit in Return of the King when they sort of like see like in Battle of Pelennor Fields, they see the Mumakil coming in, and the Rohirrim are just like, "All right, let's freeform the line and fucking charge. Let's go." That was me just being like, "All right, turn, line, get them." I just charged into them and.
Was that when you all died?
No, that was about like 45 minutes before. That bit went flawlessly,
Okay.
and then got into the woods, and the woods is where everything went to hell.
Right.
I think a similar moment on that battle was finding myself with a cleaved leg, face to face with one of the Druge generals, just desperately throwing my shield up as this big axe just kept coming down into me, to be like, "How am I still alive?" and then getting dragged backwards. Out of the way. Very dramatic times.
Nice. That's really cool. Helen?
I think my, if I remember the question correctly, was the moment I didn't expect to be in. Star Bar on Saturday night, I think it was, because it honestly was just utter chaos. So I normally have like one drink of an evening that I nurse the whole way through the night. So I am relatively sober compared to everyone else there, who thought they were having quiet, intimate conversations, but were actually just screaming at each other across the bar. And so I was just like watching all these people like, "Oh my god, this is insane." And then some absolute nut job in a cat mask comes and nuzzles Tiny's crotch and nearly takes me off a bench. He knows who he is.
Yeah, we're not gonna name which Dolly this was, but Dolly, you know it was you.
And I just remember all these conversations going on around me and thinking, this is because Justin. Because I didn't even know who his character was. I knew his character had already died because I was actually at God when his character had come in from and had been dead. So I was like, oh my god, couldn't even remember Justin's new character's name. But he'd come along. He was talking to me absolutely like at the top of his lungs. Then I got Tillian next to me, and it was just utter chaos in the Star Bar. But yeah, it was just one of those moments where it's like, I'm a grown adult. What on earth am I doing with my life?
Yeah, that was funny. That bloody Dolly. So mine, it's been talked about a lot and stuff and things that I've wanted to do and be involved in. I'm now in a bare knuckle fist fight at E1. I can't go into the details because it's ongoing stuff. But someone has said something very, very untowards about a member of my family in character. If it was out of character, I would have just decked him. I was like, in character, they've said this, and they were literally right next to me saying it, and I was just like, okay. Yeah, we'll have words later. So at E1, there's going to be an actual fight going on. It's all going to be choreographed, and it's going to be a lot of fun to watch. Yeah. I'm going to kick the shit out of someone.
Yeah.
Basically. Yeah, especially when all that comes out, it's going to lead to some very interesting conversations. And I have to remember I'm not Mac anymore because I just can't beat the shit out of everybody who comes up to me. I have to be nice.
I have every plan of ensuring, every intention of ensuring somehow that people that I want to witness this.
That's all I'm there. No comment. I will do, if people want more t-shirts, Dolly, I will do another run on them. Yeah, loads. There'll be get stuff sorted for you, mate. Liam's asked, what are your each of your plans for next summit? Helen, we'll start with you.
Oh boy.
If it's all big in character plot stuff, we can't go into too much detail. Just give a brief. This is the sort of
I've already sent out a load of IC mail for next summit. Like I say, I have decided to stir up some trouble in the world of potion making.
Yes, you have.
Just because it's a bit of currently a bit of a dead game. So for all those people who take apothecary and everything, I just think it'd be a bit of fun to have actually something to do with it. So my big aim for next summit is to get some stuff rolling there, hopefully funded by some drug lords. But you never know. No.
Me.
And then there's bits and pieces going on with the Wintermark Economic Council, and whether I actually want to move nation or not. All these kinds of things to think about in the long dark, really. But those are the big plans.
Okay, excellent. Josh?
Need to finalise new character idea stuff, which I'm hoping to go to some player events to get really hashed in.
Yeah.
But I think my big goals all E1, E3, and E4. I spent most of my time, if not all of it, in Dawn, except for like a few excursions here and there for various things. I think my big goal for E1 is going to be not to spend a lot of time in Dawn and just go and poke everything everywhere else and get really stuck in with plots I can find there. And I've been teaching myself for the past week now, teach myself how to play the baritone ukulele in prep for E1. That's my big long dark project, is to get good at that. I've managed to learn 2 songs now.
Cool.
And I have a song where I have the lyrics and stuff written, and now I need to figure out, okay, I have a song, I have a instrument, how do I make those work together? And start doing that and causing all manner of ruckuses. That's my plan.
Excellent. Beth?
More.
Sorry?
More. Just more.
More.
More of everything. More of it.
Okay.
More business, more military, more different groups of people, more things to poke.
Good. Poking stuff
More.
is good. Yeah, throw yourself into all the plot. So Wednesday's asked, how and where did you all start with character creation, and what is your favourite bit of it? It's a good question, actually. So when you were coming up with your characters, what was did you have like a focus? Did you have something, I want to be like this character from this, or something, anything like that? Was there anything that came to mind? Open question.
For me, it started with her job. So I knew she was a baker very early on. I can't remember how I came to that decision. But I did. And stuff just fleshed out from there from reading the wiki. I just kept reading things on the wiki. I was like, "Ooh, I want to be a runesmith." Every time something interested me, I added it. And I found out about the invasion of Somasuak, and I was like, "Ooh, she escaped Somasuak." Yeah, just kept reading the wiki.
Okay, excellent. Josh?
My start had a weird one because it was a big group of us from another sort of friend/community server I was in will be like, right, we all want to LARP on this here, the end of 2019. Let's all get into LARPing for like the next year. That'll be great. And we had like votes basically on what nation we wanted to go into, like as a group, and then only like 3 of us actually stuck with that. And then we've since been poaching other people who wanted to do other. Like, I think 3 people who are now in our house wanted to be Wintermark originally, and we went, but we actually go. We're actually doing this already. Come with us. And now they're in Dawn. I think for making Percival, it was. I think I chose to be Earl because I thought that you had to have a player be the like head of the group at the time. So, like, you had to have someone there. I was like, all right, I'll do it because I'm comfortable sort of having to fulfill that role in things. And then initially had like much more of an idea of being a lot more like schemy and like more sort of like malevolent in nature, very sort of like Game of Thrones and everything. And then I actually played once and went, oh, that's so much effort. I'm just going to be an idiot. I'm just going to be an idiot who's well-intentioned about things, but like doesn't have the attention span to like cause problems in that way. And it was a lot more fun to just kind of channel more of like a Thor aspect to it all. I think that's always because, you know, basically planning over the entirety of like lockdown and everything, very easy to get like caught up in, oh, I could do this, I could do it, all of these things could happen, and then you actually experience LARP. It's like, oh, okay, how I've made it in my head is incredibly different. And it's actually a lot more fun to do this, it turns out, rather than what I was thinking.
No, that's good. I think everyone has different ways of making their characters up and that. So, Helen, how about you? How did you come up with Yana?
Well, I was actually thinking I might do a mixed bag. So, Yana is a product of what I discovered I hated in my very first character. So she is. I mean, I'm like personally, I've always loved kind of like the old wives' tales and stuff like that. I love like old Celtic history. I like old Norse history. And so I've always really loved things like Varushka and Navarre to an extent, and Wintermark, just for that kind of some of the look and feel you get from it.
Yeah.
So it's why, you know, I've never been particularly drawn to the Brass Coast or the League beyond it looking nice. I just don't think it's my kind of aesthetic personally. So that to me is always the biggest draw. What actually culturally does it feel like to be within that nation? And then everything else is kind of, like I say, I struggle a lot with doing any kind of intense role play. I don't like role play that feels like it's a lot of pressure on me. I don't like having a character that's very different to how I behave.
Yeah.
So a lot of it is just kind of merging my own personality with what would actually work within that setting.
Yeah.
So that's what Yana is. You know, she's taken on a role in Wintermark that's very much down the middle of what the Wintermark brief is. And it's just my kind of slight twist on my own personality to do that. I struggled in Navarre when I first joined because I did the opposite. I made a very, very strong, yeah, I can see you laughing. I made a very fighty Navarre character, and then I'm too chicken to ever go into a battle. It took me, I think, 2 years, didn't it? 2 years, and I eventually made it to the gate, but I never actually made it through the gate.
Nope.
So, and I think to this day, even now, the weapons I bought 5 years ago have never made it through the Sentinel gate.
Yeah, they have.
Not by me.
No, not by you. I've used them.
Other people have borrowed them, same as my armor. So yeah, so I I made a character thinking I knew what I wanted to do, and then found very quickly that what I thought I was good at and what I thought, I'd enjoy doing was not what I thought what I actually did enjoy.
Yeah. Yeah, I know what you mean. When I come up with characters, I get inspiration from TV, film, books, and I think that character's cool. I quite like that sort of aspect, and then there's like that sort of aspect. It's why I loved Max so much, because I literally had Rollo from Vikings, absolute psychopath, and Spike Milligan. That was my concept. So, yeah, go figure on that one. Cal, I haven't figured Cal out properly yet. He's got his mannerisms and he's got the way he's going to be, and he's a good guy. Which is a very different game for me. Being a decent person, who's going to kick the shit out of a Dornish piece of crap.
Decent to a point.
Yeah, just. So that's going to be fun. But when it comes to character creation, in that I can understand why it's daunting. I mean, the site is daunting, but it's just you're quite lucky, Wednesday, because you've got a lot of people in there, and if it's I mean something you could do something simple. I mean, we are very similar look and build, my friend. I would love to have you come in as my brother, because it would work really well, and it would be a lot of fun, and you could get involved in a lot of the game from there, and it gives you ins to a lot of the game, and it really would work. It really would work, and I can help you out with a lot of stuff as well. So we can do that, but we got the long dark, mate, and we can have a nice chat about it on Discord at some point. We'll get some people involved, and so it'll be good. It'll be good fun. Yeah. So we haven't got to E3 or E4, and we're not going to. We've sort of skirted over the good bits and all of that, the highs, not really so lows, but. An amazing death story, though. That was really, really good. I've really enjoyed listening to that.
I can tell that I'm gonna like anytime someone asks me what is like what's like your favorite memory about LARP, I think that's gonna be there for a very long time.
Yeah, me. Definitely. That was a really good solid death. And listening to your own funeral, I mean, that's just amazing. So, 7 months. We're all shocked that this great bunch is going to need more than one episode, to be honest. Yeah, I know. I have a tendency to do this. I've got another bunch coming on Monday as well to do the same thing.
Get them to talk about E3 and E4 specifically.
So we'll just do E3 and E4 with them then, I think.
I will say, because like that earlier question of like traumatic, experience out of character, monstering the Sunday battle at E3 was an experience. I got cleaved in the leg very early on, and then had to just run past all the like bleeding out Brass Coast for like half the field until I caught up with the line. I was like, oh, this is. Oh no.
Yeah, there's been a lot of trauma over this year. The battles have been harder, the skirmishes have been a lot harder.
Mm-hmm.
So I think the long dark's going to be good for a lot of people. Kit's going to improve. Twitch Ghost just moved that point. Yeah, I know, I moved it because I realised if anyone donated bits, it was all coming down in front of Josh's face. I would normally crack a joke there, but yeah, Josh has had it over his face too much anyway. Why break the habit of a lifetime?
Yeah.
Oh, there we go. Hey, you Betty, how you doing? But yeah, so I've moved that. So, but yeah, so that's it really. So thank you three for coming on. Helen has been asked to come on a lot by chat, and I've just ignored them. But I look forward to hearing how E1 goes for you, Josh, and how I'm pretty new and only joined at E3 and E4. Do that many people not normally die on Sunday battles? Sometimes. It was quite common this year.
So lately,
Yeah, but there's more players now.
Yeah,
I think something the most casualties ever had since E1, like year 1 E1.
it was, yeah. Thanks for subbing there, Wednesday. That's awesome. That many Dornish typically die at least once a year. Same for Wintermark and same for Navarre.
Wintermark, it's just Wintermark is just cannon fodder for everyone else.
Yeah, we are. The Orcs, Imperial Orcs, got split in half. Half of their battle group died on Sunday.
The league lost 3 people.
The league lost 3. Thanks for a great stream. Have a good weekend, everybody. Okay, we've got to finish now. Ryan's told us to finish.
Yeah, take the hint.
We're fine. So it does happen. Coast was 6. Yeah, a lot of people died in E4. A lot of people died. It was an absolute bloodbath. So yeah,
as a Druge in that battle, like, I didn't realise until we'd been there what felt like about 3 hours, and I was like, wait, we're still out here. This has gone very badly because we were moving constantly. So I just thought we kept getting pushed back, but then I realised that we've been out there too long for this to not be going badly for them.
Cheers, Bolam. Come on, off you fuck now. Thank you, Ryan. Yes, we are. So we're good.
I've just been paying them to get you off.
Oh, okay, fair enough.
That's an unfortunate phrase.
Well, Bolam does that anyway, and Ryan keeps on sending me messages saying he wants to. Right, we're going to go and raid Digby. He's streaming, and let's go and spread all the love in the world. Any questions for people who are new or anything like that? Discord, it's always there. Lots of people willing to help out and offer more information than you will ever need. It's a wonderful place, and I love it there. So, right, 10 seconds. I will always get this wrong, because I just do. I don't know if I'm still there or not anymore. I don't know anything. Anyway, I think I've gone. Yeah, anyway, go, have a laugh. Good weekend, bye.
Goodbye.